Hey, it's Coach T. This is the next in my Affinity Publisher 2 videos, which are really geared at adult learners like myself who are trying to learn to build something cool. In the last video, we looked at how you might export your book because I know if you're anything like me, you're probably jumping at the bit, champing at the bit, trying to get the heck out of tutorial circus or tutorial hell so that you can start making cool stuff. So I wanted to make sure that I got the export video out there quickly, that people weren't waiting on it if they were trying to learn the software, because I can't stand it when I am basically being held back. And of course, obviously, go out and find other resources. I'm not perfect. I'm not a professional designer. I'm just a teacher who's enjoying making videos to hopefully empower other people to do cool stuff. So in the last video, I actually was able to recover the file that I had lost. This is one from I think video 2 or 3 where we had input this dot and I had started to introduce text wrapping. Text wrapping was the subject of video 3 itself. So this must be from video 2. But what I want to do is I want to actually start to put together a document that might look visually appealing. And we're going to do that with some master pages. So my goal here is to introduce how you might do a full page image and then also show you the utility of our picture frame, rectangle and picture frame ellipse tools, because they're very potent tools. But also, you might not want your every single image to be the same color, every single page to be white. Maybe you want something different. So let's go back up to our masters. We're going to create a new master by right-clicking Add Master. We'll do a dark background, and this will illustrate a point for you. And all we're going to do is we are going to, well, let's experiment here. Does this do anything? Nope. Okay. I didn't think so, but I looked at it and I was like, I ought to at least see. So I'm going to select a rectangle, and then I'm going to click and drag to fill, and that's extremely green. I'm going to dial that way down. Now, here's something to notice up here on the top. I have to turn it down because it's going to hurt my eyes. That's a little bit gentler. Okay. Now, right here, we've got swatches. These are colors that you might have worked on before. This is a color palette for a project that I contributed to a while ago. We've got gradients. So I could set this to be a gradient. It's linear, elliptical. I could set it to be radial, right? But I want color. And I've got the RGB sliders, which is your typical 3-point slider, RGB. I could go to a hex slider if I wanted to get the hex color code. I could come down to CMYK if I'm using CMYK on the document, or I could go down even to grayness and I'll get just a grayscale. And I'm going to settle for a grayscale. We could go full black, although I don't really like full black on a paper. I don't think it actually prints very well. I'm going to go to, let's say, a 10% grayscale, or I think that'd be a 90 maybe. I forget exactly how to state that. So now I have this nice dark picture that I could be working with. And I want to create another master based on this one. We're going to apply this master. Oops. We are going to duplicate, and we're going to call this the. Let me rename you. There it is. We're going to call this the dark header. It's just easier on the eyes, right? Now, I did forget when I reverted the file type. I forgot to go back and capture my. Get off of me. I forgot to go back and get my my headers and footers. So we're going to do that very quickly. Just as a note, if you take a look here, when I had the wipers off, you couldn't see it, but this image does not currently extend to the bleed lines, and it really should. If you're going with a commercial printer, they're going to require it. So just click and drag and get it to this outer box to get your bleed out there. And you want to do that on all dimensions. So the corner dimensions are easiest. And there you go. Now it extends all the way to the bleed line, so when the printer cuts the image, you don't have to worry about there being unexpected white space. Another thing you want to do is click to select the whole thing, and if this is going to be your permanent background color, you can come over here and lock it. And now I can't click and move it. It's stuck there. All I have to do if I want to move it or change the color is just unlock it if I wanted to, but I'm going to leave that the color that it was. Lock it back up. Okay, and now I can work on this without having to constantly hit that. And what I want to do is I'm going to insert really quickly a header and a footer field. I will make this 0.3 inches tall, and I'm going to center it and vertically align it. And I called this the Fire Tower News last time. And this is going to become relevant in a second because I went and I found an image. So we have Fire Tower News on that side, and oops, we have, we'll do, my cord's in the way, Your Stories over on this side. So now we have two different headers. We don't have a footer. That's okay. I'm not going to bother with a footer right now. But I am going to text insert field, page number down here, and I'm going to left justify it on this side, and then I'm going to copy and paste and right justify, and I'm also going to bottom align them just to really get them, out of the way. Okay, so now I'm working on my, dark background. I thought I was working on the other one. We'll do this as dark header, and you know what? We don't need this guy anymore, so we'll just delete him, get him out of the way. Minimal confusion. Okay, so here's what this page looks like. Right now, I think, given how small these are, I can probably move them out of the way to maximize my page space. I still have plenty of space between that and the margin, or the edge of the page. I think it's okay. Your printer might freak out a little bit. That's up to you to figure out with your printer. We'll bottom justify those just to be safe. Now, what I want to do is I want to take the picture frame rectangle, and I'm going to click and drag, and it inserts this X, which is maybe a little bit hard to see here, so we'll do it over here on the white page. It gives you this X, and what that X represents is that there should be an image in there, but we are basically filling this part of the page in so that nothing can fit in the way until we insert this image. And the way that we do that is by going to replace image here. There's also properties if you want, scale to maximum fit, minimum stretch to fit. You can anchor different points. I think I'm going to anchor the center myself. Yeah, like that. Okay, done. And then we're going to replace the image. And I have here an HD wallpaper version of a fire tower, right? This is an image from a video game that I like. And you can see it's getting compressed down a little bit in order to fit into this space. It's not too bad if I blow it up. And now this master is going to be applied to any page that has this master applied. So let's go down, we'll add this. And at the moment, this is roughly how it looks. I can scale it up, I can scale it down. I can click and drag to crop within. So let's say I really wanted to get in on the fire tower itself. Offset it just a little bit. I can make it look like that by clicking inside this directional arrow, and that allows me to choose which part I'm putting forward on the actual image. So that is how you would use this picture frame tool. Now, another way you could do it is if we go back, and remember that was working off of this page, so it's probably not the best example. Let me delete you. Oh, I'm on the pages. Let's go back to the master. It's insisting that it has to stay there. We will insert another blank image here, and actually let's be fancy. We're going to make this look nice. It's going to fill up this top part of the image, and now down here, notice I can't move it, right? It's locked to the back to where the master template is, but I haven't forcibly inserted an image. So maybe I'm always going to lead with an image like this at the beginning of a chapter or the beginning of a section. Now it will always be appropriately sized to right here, and I can click replace image and bring it back, and here we go, right? Now I can just get it arranged exactly how I want it. Maybe I want it to look like this. So the fire tower is really centered. Now, do notice we just lost track of our page numbers, and that's because of a layering issue that I caused here. I need to make sure that my Fire Tower News header is at the top of the stack, and I'll do that with Your Stories as well. Now, if we come back, now you can see Fire Tower News is, you can actually see it. It is there. It's just white, which we don't want because you can't see it, right? Black doesn't look great. We can try, click this black square here. I'm going to go back to RGB. We can try yellow. We could try orange. It's a little bit hard to see because of where the pane just happens to be falling. We could try green. You know, we could really do any of these colors that we choose. Or and this is, I'll get into this in greater detail in another video. We can go to the FX button, and we could just outer shadow that bad boy. Oh, it doesn't seem to want to let me. I think we need to do it from the master. So if we go to the master, FX, there it is, outer shadow. We'll give it a big radius, let's say 15, and then we'll do 5, and we'll do intensity of 50%. Close, come back here, and now you can see, you have to play with it a little bit, but you can see it stands out much better off the top of the page, right? So another way that we could do this is to give me my margins back, come over here, and I'm going to be inserting a picture of a ukulele here. Ukulele is going to fill this part of the page like that, and then we're going to have text boxes for content here. And actually, you know what? Let's demonstrate text wrapping one more time like this. We'll come all the way down, and you can do text wrapping as a component of any field. So if we find page number right, text wrapping, and we're just going to tell it to go square around it so that it doesn't get in the way. Now, and we'll do that the same thing with the picture frame, this picture frame. And you can double click and name these. So if we call this the uke, that way we know. We'll text wrap tight. 0.15 is probably okay. And if we come down here, we see, oh look, we're waiting to input an image here. Let's go to uke, replace image, insert the ukulele. Oh, it's way smaller than I thought it was. That's a bummer. Pause real quick. Okay, I figured out how to fix it on my own. So what we're doing is I made this guy a little bit too big, but I kind of want it to sit like this so that when we fill, which one am I working? Here we go. Oh, you know what? I'm typing in the wrong thing. All right, let's back up. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Okay. Now, let's figure out why we can't see the text that we're typing. Frame text. Is it because the ukulele is wrapping text too aggressively? Oh, nope, it's because it's bottom justified. Oh my goodness. Okay. Uke. Reset our wrapping. Tight. Good. Okay, now we should be able to see what we're doing. So a lot of times it's just about troubleshooting whatever the problem is and just going slowly to figure it out, looking around the page. Sometimes things don't end up where you want them to be. There we go. Okay. Now, in this case, I have the text wrapping on, but I think this PNG is kind of low quality, and so it's not reading that this is transparent. But that's okay, because we've taken a step towards making a more visually appealing document already. So the thing that I had said that I wanted to do was to show you how to use the text frames in order to get images into your page, right? That I think has been accomplished. The other thing that I want to do is to show you how to use a master page to get a full page background. So we're going to duplicate this guy, but in this one all we're keeping is the headers and the footers, and then we're going to insert a big picture frame and make sure that this is sunk to the bottom just above the rectangle, which arguably you don't need the rectangle, but we're going to keep it for now. And this image we will replace. Just got to make sure I click on it. Replace image. We're going to replace it with the whole fire tower image, which is not very high quality, unfortunately. I apparently didn't download the high quality background. But now we have this big, beautiful page like this. We're going to offset it just slightly, right? Just slightly. And if I go into... Did I do that? No, I didn't do that on a page. If I apply master, and I apply the dark background too, now I have a full page spread, and I can work off of that by going back to this, and I can start to insert some text fields that I know, hey, I'm probably going to want a header up here. I'm going to want body of text right here. I'm probably going to want a body of text right here, right? And now I can go back to my full page spread. I can select from the text styles, which we have not done a video on yet, but we will be doing one soon. We'll call this 50, and we'll do news, and then we'll just insert our filler text here to show how we can start to build a full page spread. So that's it. One last little tip is, if you're finding this is a little bit hard to read, you can insert a rectangle like this, just get it around it, and then under your layers you can insert this below. Whoops, I missed. You can insert this into this version of the master page. So I want this to go right below filler text. And then I can also go to color where it says opacity with the rectangle selected, and I can dial the opacity way down. Why didn't that work? Do I need to edit detached? We will, hold on, pause. We will edit detached, and then I'm going to come back over here and fill opacity, and you could just dial this back enough that you think it's not impeding the legibility or the reading. And if you want it to be the same color like this, I think that looks a little bit nicer. You can do something like that as well. So that is how you use the text frame boxes, and you can use the text frame boxes in turn to make a full page color spread in Affinity Publisher 2. If you thought this kind of tutorial, which ran a little bit long today, was useful, consider subscribing to the channel and doing the doodads, the likes, comments, etc. These are really designed to help adult learners to make things that are cool, and that's really all I want out of it. So if you like it, let me know. Until next time.